Right, should we start?
We should start, yeah.
Okay, hello, I'm Ian.
And I'm Sam.
And we welcome you to the latest episode of Such a Ranker. The show is simple. We take 7 completely random films and try to rank them from best to worst or worst to best.
Worst to best.
Yep. What could possibly go wrong? So this week, Sam, what we got?
We have got, in order... Well, I'll say the first one and then you can say the next one. Is that how we do it?
Yeah. So we could do it hand in hand. Why not? Let's daisy chain it.
Okay. So, first we have A Quiet Place.
2018.
Part 1, is that technically what this is now called? Because the second one's called Part 2.
Well, what's the new one that came out?
Day 1.
Day 1.
Yeah.
So, I mean, does it technically...
It's a prequel,
Yeah.
Day 1. Even though it goes over the exact same concepts we've already seen in the previous 2 films.
Yeah, it must be Part 1. So, A Quiet Place Part 1.
Anyway, there's your review for A Quiet Place Day 1. Misleading title. Anyway, A Quiet Place Part 1.
Then we got 2012's 21 Jump Street, Phil Lord, Chris Miller.
Yes.
Arguably what I would say is the turning point in Channing Tatum's career.
And Jonah Hill's.
Yeah, but he's been doing comedy anyway before that point.
Oh no, I feel like this is the beginning of the end of his like comedy avenue.
And yeah, I would see this as the beginning of the beginning for Channing Tatum.
Yes, I would probably agree with that.
Yeah.
Do you think that Jonah Hill would like to go Back to the Future?
Nice. This is why you're here. I said this last time. This is literally why you're here. Because then I'll do a really shit one for the next transition, and then you'll just come in out of nowhere and just be like, this is how I connect this film with this.
Yeah. Is it funny that Jonah Hill's most famous role is him playing an incest?
An incest?
Yeah.
An incest?
Yeah, in Wolf of Wall Street.
Isn't that an incel?
No, incest.
I think I'm missing something here.
Oh, so in Wolf of Wall Street, he's married to his cousin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's like his most famous role. So his most famous role is of him being a backstabbing incest.
Oh, nice. I didn't realise that you described someone as an incest.
How do you describe them?
Well, I don't know. I thought they were
incestuous.
They took part in incest, like they took part in the act of incest. I didn't realise you became an incest.
Have we just coined a new term?
I haven't. Don't drag me into this.
Speaking of...
anyway, he's gone Back to the Future, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
With our third film, 1989's Back to the Future Part 2.
Yes, an actual Part 2.
An actual Part 2.
Yeah, unlike A Quiet Place Part 1, which isn't called A Quiet Place Part 1, retrospectively.
It's just A Quiet Place, okay. Yeah.
Which is silly. But yeah, Back to the Future Part 2, an interesting film.
I really like Back to the Future Part 2. I genuinely think it's a trilogy that remains very good. I don't think there's a bad film in the Back to the Future trilogy. I actually think I rate 3 higher than 2. I think 2 is the worst of the trilogy.
This is the worst.
But I wouldn't turn around and say it is a bad film. I would just say it's the worst of the trilogy. But that sounds a lot worse to say that than, it's still a pretty good film. I'd still watch it over most other Part 2s of anything.
Yeah. The next film we have on our list is Locke.
2013, Stephen Knight.
Yes.
One Man, One Car.
Yeah, the film where there would not be a Tom Hardy in Peaky Blinders without Locke.
Do you know
which is probably the least interesting aspect of this film because it's amazing.
There is a quote on the front of the DVD cover or the Blu-ray cover of Locke that says it's the most entertaining thriller of the year.
Yes. And
it's amazing how we read things differently because I see it as almost like a drama more so than a thriller.
Yeah.
But to describe it as a thriller, when you rewatch it, you kind of go, "Oh yeah, I kind of get that. I get why there's elements because it's intense.
Oh yeah, massively.
It is an intense film.
Is it more intense than Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back?
Oh, it might be 1980.
Yeah. Like, because they're both father-son stories at heart.
Yep, that's our number 5 film on this week.
Number 5? We're in order already.
This is our number 5. This is the 5th. Well, this is the 5th film at the moment. It's not number 5
right,
on the list, but this is number 5.
That's a hot take already.
Hot take, yeah. I think I would have shocked a few people with that
one. Who's like a better, monotone cyborg? Is it Darth Vader or Dredd?
Dredd. 2012's Dredd.
And this
Pete Travis.
And we have to be very specific. This is 2012 Dredd.
This is 2012 Dredd.
There will be no...
Before you do too many impressions of Sylvester Stallone. Before you do too many impressions of South Park's impression of Sylvester Stallone's Judge Dredd, then, we just have to clarify.
Hey, the law.
At least we find that funny.
Sorry.
At least we find that funny.
Oh, I find it's not. Yeah, it's a one-man comedy show, which is why Dread 2012 is so interesting, because how can the same line be said by two actors but be so unbelievably different in legacy?
Yeah.
One is like, I mean, Carl Urban is fantastic in this one.
Yeah.
And Sylvester Stallone is so bad. Drop your weapons.
Oh yes. There's such a contrast in original Judge Dredd and Dredd
Yes.
that it's like night
We
and
need
day,
to
really.
talk about Carl Urban in depth at some point in this podcast.
I think we need to do a deep dive 5 on Carl Urban.
We do need to do a deep dive 5.
And then finally on our list, I think we've got 2001's Training Day.
Yes.
Is it potentially Anton Fuqua's best film? David Ayer, I would arguably say it's his best film I'm a big fan of Training Day, so I'm biased in that sense. But it really shines a light on that whole one-trick pony, in that he pretty much has done Training Day again, to the point where Bright for Netflix is just Training Day, but in fantasy land.
Though flawed,
So-
I do like Fury.
Fury, I quite like End of Watch, but
Yeah.
then, all the stuff around Suicide Squad.
Right, where do we begin? Do we
Where do we
begin
begin?
with
Where
the
do we
quietest
begin?
film on the list? But will it be quiet in the rankings?
Oh, good question. I genuinely think that this... In some of our previous lists, we've started with the worst of this list, and then we've started there and just kind of built up.
Have we done
I
that?
personally... I think we've done it for a couple of them. I don't know now. Do we really have a logic for this? Do we just
No, I
talk?
just thought it was an order. This is... Oh, it's not in alphabetical order.
No, it's not. It's just in the
Have you just done
order
this?
at which
Have you just done this subconsciously?
This is when the randomizer kicks
Oh,
it
it's
out.
just a random.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there
This
you go.
is in the order that the list
Yeah,
is.
it's a random.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's start with The Quiet Place then, because I
Yeah.
genuinely think the only way that... These are all, in my opinion, all very good movies.
Would you say that this was until the recent classic of Sinners came out, this was the last really brilliant release of an original horror film?
It's A Quiet Place, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh. I definitely...
7 years apart.
There is a lot of similarities with this and the cultural impact that it's had. Like, I genuinely feel like Sinners is stuck around for a long time. Like, very famous, it's like 6% drop week in week for Sinners, which is unheard of. And I remember when A Quiet Place dropped and people loved it. Like, it was like a pin drop moment in cinemas, and people were going to the cinema to experience that, because when you, say, for instance, compare that to what is happening in the Minecraft movie at the moment, it's such different experiences at a cinema. But that was one of the key reasons to go and see it. I think that's a good question, actually. I mean, what would have come out that, in terms of actual horror,
Yeah.
I'd probably say, well, I suppose it depends what kind of line you're going down. Somewhere like A Quiet Place, for instance, is a post-apocalypse horror movie. Sinners, not so much. So I'm not sure if we can aptly make that comparison, but I think in terms of cultural impact, probably not a lot since Quiet Place, really. So you're probably right. Sinners might be up there.
It's a really interesting concept.
Yeah. As in A Quiet Place, the plot.
And I watched a YouTube review show not long ago, and there was someone did a brilliant comparison that A Quiet Place is like a metaphor of the internet and social media, where it's basically like families are in the same room but they can't talk to each other because there's like this horrible presence lurking. And they compared it to social media, and I thought, that's a very interesting comparison. And I can somewhat get on board with that.
Yeah.
But that concept aside, I think it's a really well-made film. Very cool that it's John Krasinski.
Yeah.
And obviously his wife, Emily Blunt, is in the film. And I will say one thing, not only with this, but part 2, they have absolutely amazing hooks.
Do you know, I haven't seen part 2, and I haven't seen day 1.
Have you not? No. So A Quiet Place Part 2 is very good, but it has... If it was just a short film, which is kind of a little prequel to Part 1, absolutely amazing opening. It's amazing.
It's a bit like someone's had it compared to me. Someone said it's a bit like that moment in War of the Worlds, the Tom Cruise one.
Yes.
Where like,
But 100 times better.
insane beginning. Like
Yeah.
that as an entrance to a film, very similar in
Yeah.
tone, vibe, whatever it is you want to describe it.
Yeah. If it just was a short film, that opening would be like one of the best horror short films for ages. But I think A Quiet Place, I mean, it has its detractors. I think a lot of people will probably find this quite boring. There's obviously not a lot of dialogue, which is like the purpose of the film.
Yeah.
But I think it's really well crafted. It has enough mystery regarding the enemy, which is these aliens.
Yeah.
That basically, like, the human race has been rendered, they can't really communicate properly because the aliens are like superimposed to sound.
Yeah.
So basically, if anyone makes a noise, the aliens will be basically on top of you within 5 seconds. It's kind of like a video game.
Yeah.
Like a stealth video game where, like, if you make one false move, you're dead.
Yeah.
But that's like in film format. But it's really well executed, which is probably the standout. It's very impressive directorial debut by Krasinski.
He gives me a lot of Krasinski gives me a lot of Spielberg vibes in that he understands what the heart of most films are, and it's in your characters, and it's in that familial unit, it's in that structure.
Yeah.
He's doing part 3 at the moment. Now,
Is that true? Or I heard that was that's been put off because Day One didn't do as much as they hoped.
Oh, it might be. I know Krasinski's down at the moment. He's still connected as director and presumably writer.
And obviously he's promoting Fountain of Youth, which was the film as part of our latest Deep Dive 5.
Absolutely. And because he's an interesting director, because of the stuff he's done so far, he's very family oriented. He wants to make things with like his family in mind. He's a very family person, Emily Blunt and his kids. So I think like when you then start to look at things like A Quiet Place and you realise the central idea of it being around that family, I think that's the heart and soul of the movie, and that's why it connected with so many people. I think it's also why the second part did well, because the twist at the end of A Quiet Place is huge. Like, it actually has an impact. There are tears in the cinema when that happens. And so it then creates a really interesting mystery about where you take those characters in this world that a lot of horror films don't tend to do, because it's normally protagonist versus antagonist being the horror, protagonist being the person running away from the horror, whereas this is more surviving in that world, a familial unit surviving in that world in the face of tragedy, not really being able to communicate, not being able to trust humans, not being able to trust the environment that they're in. So it creates a really interesting mystery that really intrigues me to see what John Krasinski is going to do next.
Yeah, I'm intrigued, the direction he goes down, but I don't want him to be kind of defined by doing updated versions of what we've already seen.
Well, my fear is, because If didn't do that well.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's the fear, is If would have been kind of not an easy one, because he wrote that as well. So he had a lot to do with If, and that didn't do well. And I wonder if then studios then are going to be a bit like, oh, not sure if we can really trust John to do that well. And that's why it wouldn't surprise me if part 3 does happen, because he needs to go back and prove that he can be trusted with a lot of money. Because If would have cost a hell of a lot of money, and didn't resonate. And kids' films is either success or fail, and the success is a real success, the fail is a real fail. And when that failure is also attached to quite a high name, or quite a big name, because there's not a lot of kids' film directors that you go, oh yeah, I know that guy. I think because Krasinski was a household name that was attached to a kids' film that failed, that has larger ramifications than, say, if an unknown had shot it their first film and it didn't do too well. So it wouldn't surprise me if we do see a part 3. But Quiet Place as a whole, tense, really atmospheric. It creates excellent sympathy for the characters, and you can really empathise with them. Just a generally all-round great horror film from the 2010s.
Yeah.
Yeah. let's talk about 21 Jump Street.
Yes.
It's a strange transition. Phil Lord and Chris Miller. So this was their first action movie after Cloudy the Chance of Meatballs. And it was before Lego Movie. And it was around about the first time, but around, they'd just written the first season of How I Met Your Mother, I think.
Okay.
So they were getting a name as writers at this point for this like quirky, quite refreshing sense of humour. Because by this point, the Judd Apatow stuff had started to kind of come to an end at the 2000s. We needed a refreshing comedy, and that came in the form of a standout stellar performance from Channing Tatum in a comedic role that no one really thought he could do.
Kind of a joke.
Yeah.
It still is in many ways. People do. I mean, he had that little weird golden period when he did stuff like Foxcatcher.
That's not long after this. After 21 Jump Street. 21 Jump Street is 2012.
Yeah.
Foxcatcher's what, 2014? 2015?
I think.
So you're not talking that much. I mean, his film before 21 Jump Street was The Vow. Now, I saw that in the cinema, and that was a tough watch. But before that, I mean, you're not looking at many years between Step Up, right, and The Vow, right? So there's not a lot going on at that point.
Yeah. Who wins this film?
How do you mean?
Like, who comes away with their career sort of...
Tatum.
Okay.
Without a doubt. Channing Tatum walks away from this because you're talking about like buddy cop, right? And you're talking about then you have to have the two play off each other. And Channing Tatum played into, I think, a stereotype of Channing Tatum for this movie. I think he played into that. He was like, well, people think I'm this, so I'm going to act this way, and I'm going to have a lot of fun doing this. And he could do it because he could trust the fact that you've got Jonah Hill next to you, who can do it. Like, there's no way about it. Jonah Hill can chuck a line out very well. He can make a lot of stuff funny. And actually, when you look through, I rewatched 21 Jump Street, actually, and there are so many names in this film. It is a stacked cast. But for Tatum to still be self-aware enough to be able to take the mickey out of himself, to be able to put himself in that position where he was just a lovable idiot, and he did it well. His career, for me personally, is seen him go up and up and up and up. It's hit a bit of rocks over the last couple of years. But for some reason, he's like come off of like Wolverine. Like he had all the foul stuff with Gambit. And yet, that little bit part has seemingly reignited Gambit in this universe.
I feel like he completely disappeared after the Hateful Eight, like in terms of like main. Like went on such a good run.
When was that? 2015.
2015. Yeah, and he's not in that film for very long. I mean, he is essentially the main villain, but he doesn't appear until the very end.
Fantastic music number. Yeah.
He was in a good film called Dog. That came out a few years ago.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but I know someone who did see it, and they loved it.
Yeah.
They loved
it's very pulling at the
emotional.
heart. Yeah. But no, I think 21 Jump Street. Yeah, it came out in the midst of like the stoner comedy Judd Apatow era, and it was a very fresh and energetic comedy.
I think it was the Phoenix. I think it's what was born because that genre was well and truly dying at that point. By the time we get to 2009, 2010, it had started to really dry up with things like This Is 40 and.
This is 40's 2012.
Well, that's what I mean. This is 2012 as well. So you've got the dying star and the new stars reborn from because the Phil Lord and Chris Miller comedy works. It's just funny.
They're just in. The whole film is they're in on the joke, which they take up to an almighty level in 22 Jump Street, which I personally prefer.
22's... Well, no, I actually prefer 21 Jump Street, the film. I prefer the end credits of 22 Jump Street. I think that is absolutely genius.
Ice Cube. I mean, Ice Cube's great in both these films, but in the second film, he's just on another level.
Yeah, I felt like... I don't know, I felt like the line was stepped a little bit too far in 22. I thought they were like... I mean, there's Nick Offerman's in it, isn't he? Yeah.
And he's like says stuff like in the second film, this is exactly the same.
This is exactly the same. Yeah. We're not changing this. We're going to do exactly the same. You're going back to school. We're not changing a thing. And it's like, oh, can we do... No. We're going to do exactly the same again. So they very much know, like they're prepared to kind of take the mickey out of the industry. I think that bleeds into, I mean, as I say, Lord and Miller, they, moving on to like Lego Movie, very self-referential. Everyone's in on the joke, apart from your main characters.
Yeah.
And then Same even with what they were doing with the Spider-Verse movies. I mean, what they've done. The Spider-Verse movies are absolutely incredible for what they are and for also what they are doing amidst this whole wider MCU thing. Amidst everything that Sony's doing, they've gone away and gone, we're going to go make an animated Spider-Man film. Do you mind if we do that? And Sony got, yeah, all right, so can you do that? We have an animated Spider-Man film. You go away, you make your little movie. And then they go and make something that is pretty much in line for an Oscar. It's that good. It is a superhero movie that just breaks all the traditions of it, trusts its audience, is self-referential, self-aware. And I think, for me, the Spider-Verse movies kind of is a amalgamation of everything that came before it. And it's a lovely through line when you see their writing and the jokes and the quips. They're lovely to get to Spider-Verse. It's not so that is going to be the pinnacle of what they do, but everything before that. Even they did a Netflix film a couple of years ago, The Robinsons, I think it was, something like that. And it was a bit like Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, but it was like, what if the world was taken over by robots? And it was so much fun. The Mitchells. Meet the Mitchells, I think it is. Not the Robinsons. That was I think it was a Disney movie. Again, their kind of humour is just in there. It's good fun.
Do you think that their humour would work in something like, I don't know, Star Wars? Like on a specific character?
Didn't they pitch something?
It's like they did. It's almost like they were giving the reins to like a Han Solo film, and then they were fired when
they walked away from it.
They were trying.
That's right.
They were trying to, impose their style on a film, and then Star Wars, the Lucasfilm, were like, no. We don't like this. And
Let's
they're like,
bring in Ron Howard.
But we hired you. But you hired us for this reason. We don't care.
I would love to see that version of the film.
Me too. You have aspects of it in the film, but it's all over the place.
Yeah.
But no, we're going back to 21 Jump Street. Yeah, I think it kind of gave birth to a new era of comedy. But with Jonah Hill, I think it was kind of the beginning of the end of his comedy. That kind of comedy anyway.
Well, yeah, this is the end after this, I suppose.
Yeah.
Wolf of Wall Street, I suppose, is more of a step in another direction.
Kind of Hill's a fascinating one. Yeah, because he had the world in his hands at one stage, and it's kind of like we've talked about with Ben Affleck. I just think they hit a level of fame, and they're just like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be that guy, so I will just sort of back away and do my own thing.
Yeah.
But 21 Jump Street and A Quiet Place, they couldn't be really any different.
Mm-hmm. Which says a better film?
A Quiet Place. But 21 Jump Street is a really good time.
Okay, so our bottom of our list at the moment is 21 Jump Street and then A Quiet Place.
Oh, you agree fairly?
Yeah, okay. I think so. Back to the Future Part 2.
Back to the Future Part 2.
Part 2.
It's not even the best film in its trilogy. So.
It's definitely not the best film in its trilogy, but then it's still better than most.
Do you think?
Yeah, I do like... Personally, it's a really interesting take on a sequel.
In my head, I'm like, this film has very interesting aspects, but it's just too similar to the first one. Yeah. And I think the first one has just so much more to say about what they're trying to do. Because the third one's a Western. It goes completely bonkers.
The third is so much fun. Yeah, I love that film.
It just goes completely its own way. But this film, it just felt like, I don't know, I struggled to see how it warranted its existence. But having said that, the future stuff is amazing.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is what people talk about when they think of this film. They think of when Marty goes to the future, and because everyone does the comparisons now. Because are we 10 years beyond that now?
Yeah, it's 2015.
Jesus Christ! So do you know? Oh no, we're even beyond that. Yeah, 40 years ago it would be, 1985, which is when the first one came out. Isn't that fucking crazy? Mm-hmm. I say that like I was around at that time, but. I don't know. I completely understand why people like this film. Mm-hmm. But if you actually look at all three of them, this one is not only the least good, it's the least interesting.
Yeah, I quite like the butterfly effect of it. I like
that's
that.
the first one. That's what I mean. It's most of the concepts that are used in this film we have literally just seen in the first one.
Yeah, I mean, I quite like it. I mean, personally, I find it fascinating because it's famously Crispin Glover's not in it, and yet they somehow managed to get him in it. There's loads of legal stuff that's going on around that anyway. But I mean, all that stuff I find fascinating. Knowing that and then watching Back to the Future Part 2, you go, how the hell have they done this? Like, how have they done this? I quite like the idea it's an interesting version of a sequel because it's that whole...
Yeah.
It's a bit like what we were talking about with 22 Jump Street. We're just going to do the same thing again. We're literally going to do the same thing again. But this time we're going to have him skipping around his original character.
Yeah.
You know,
it's always good fun to go into a Back to the Future film is always going to be good fun.
Yeah, yeah.
I
think that's
I just kind of wish they did other things. Like they did other things, like have the second one be a Western and then have the third one go even further. Go to space. Go crazy.
Yeah, but...
I feel like if Back to the Future 2 came out now, people would shit on it. Sorry, I'm swearing now. I don't know if we're allowed to swear.
Yeah, true.
They'll just say, like, oh, it's got no originality. It's just, yeah, we're just seeing it again.
But nostalgic glasses are very, very strong with this.
Yeah.
It's just, I think the real thing is with it, its heart's in the right place. It's good fun.
Yeah,
it knows
that's
it's a
what
film.
I mean. It's good fun.
Yeah, and I think because of that, it as trilogies go, to say that Back to the Future Part 2 it's not a bad film. It's anything but a bad film.
But it's not interesting, and that's possibly a bigger sin than.
No, I do find it quite interesting.
The future stuff's interesting.
I think the future stuff's interesting. The almanac stuff's interesting. Like I quite like that whole idea of dancing around. Like, oh, we actually changed something pretty big the first time we did it. It's like it's taking like a Reddit thread and just making a film about it before any of this existed. Yeah. It's just like, oh, let's take a fan theory and just run with it and have fun with it. And I think that it does that really successful. So I would kind of disagree that it's not interesting because it's playing with that. If you then went back to when this came out, 89, not a lot of films have played around with that. The butterfly effect if you change the events of the past, how would it affect the future, was a thing. It was a talking point. It's been around for years. It's a long time.
There's only a year between this and 3.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
They must have definitely filmed that back to back then.
Oh yeah.
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 Probably
using the same sets.
Wonder why what they were doing for a couple of years.
Probably just chilling out. Zemeckis was counting his money. 2013's Lock. Stephen Knight.
Yes. So this film is about a man who drives a car down the motorway from Birmingham to London.
Yep. And it's one of the greatest films ever made.
Yes. It's one of those films you watch and you're so jealous that you didn't write it.
Yeah. Oh, it's fabulous.
Because I believe it or not, I'm actually quite mixed on Stephen Knight.
Hugely. The Man Made Serenity, which is one of the worst films I have ever seen. One of the worst films I've ever seen.
That's just Hollywood money, I think.
This was... If you believe this is true, there's a lot of stories around this, but apparently Tom Hardy did this so that Stephen Knight would then write Taboo, which was Tom Hardy's TV show at the time.
With his dad, yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff going on in order for it to have actually come together. But I'm the same as you. I go really hot and cold with Stephen Knight stuff. You never quite know what you're going to get.
Yeah. But this is I know a lot of people say Peaky Blinders is his masterpiece.
I've never seen Peaky Blinders.
I've seen the first 2 seasons and I kind of gave up after that.
Okay.
Not that it was bad, it just wasn't so much my cup of tea.
Yeah.
But this film is just wonderful. I love Tom Hardy and I think that he doesn't get the respect he deserves. And I always cite this film as like an acting masterclass because I think it is one of the great acting performances of the 21st century and beyond. Because you are watching a guy... He is it is like I love films that feel like plays. I will always feel like those kind of films because the dialogue has to be perfect and the mood has to be good. And yeah, it's just basically he's trying to solve kind of 3 problems. One of them is his job because he's abandoned his job to basically go to the hospital in London to be with the woman he had an affair with who's given birth to his child. And he's got 3 problems to deal with. It's his job, it's telling his family about this, and it's basically confronting his father, who died many years ago, that he is able to raise a child properly. And these 3 things come together so amazingly well that you feel like the film ends in about 15 minutes because you're completely glued in. And it's got so many amazing... you never see them because it's him talking on the phone. But you've got Tom Holland, you've got Olivia Colman, you've got...
Ruth Wilson.
Who, sorry?
Ruth Wilson.
Ruth Wilson.
Andrew Scott.
Andrew Scott. Andrew Scott is hilarious in this
Andrew
film.
Scott's fantastic. Honestly, this is one of my favourite films of all time. Like, I still remember that feeling in the cinema of being like, I have just watched something here that will define the rest of my viewing.
Yeah,
Like, it will frame how I think about movies. It will. I genuinely think it has one of the greatest scores of all time.
Yes, that's what I mean by the mood. It really
it's
sets
so
everything
subdued.
perfectly.
It makes you feel like you are in the car with Ivan Locke.
Yeah.
Like you are in the car with him. You can feel the rain on the windshield. You can feel the tarmac. Texturally, it's all there. The sounds of the car, the soundscape, the sound editing of that whole thing, and just this. It's not like a romantic score, but it's almost like this chilled car vibe score to it that just makes you just feel like you're there. And it is both equally massively anxiety inducing, but oddly relaxing at the same time. It's this weird combination of both of them. And it's such a wonderfully succinct experience.
Because I don't think I saw this at the cinema. I saw this, I think I just bought this on Blu-ray, or it was on Film 4 or something.
This was, I remember at the time when this came out, was when I was massively going into, like, doing the cinema runs, and I was seeing a lot of stuff day and date, and this was on my radar for a long time. This is my type of film all over. Before Trilogy, the Linklater stuff, conversation films, good dialogue-driven movies is at the top of it. So this was really high on my list. And I cannot tell you the amount of times I've recommended it to people.
Yeah.
Because no one knows it exists.
No.
It's one of those real kind of under-the-radar
gems, yeah.
And it's... honestly, it is a piece of art.
Cracking Welsh accent by Tom Hardy.
Oh, see, I don't really have an ear for accents, but it feels genuine. It feels
authentic.
No,
it's yeah, I mean, I'm not Welsh or an expert on Welsh, but it's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, it's brilliant. It's all the right... There's that saying with a lot of films where it's like punch the air in victory. And for everything that is unraveling in his life, the stuff that he manages to tie up, you just get a sense that you just want something to go right for him. Because it's a really...
Even knowing he's a massive twat.
Yeah. like with what's going on, like him as a character and even some of the ways he handles certain things. But I think that plays into who he is as a character. Like it reveals more of him for every line of dialogue just reveals a bit more of who he is. But equally, it reveals more of who he isn't.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just such a lovely experience. It's I could gush about this forever.
Yeah.
I'd recommend it to anyone.
I think it was the film that really made me fall in love with Tom Hardy. And I don't think he's really reached this level since, but I think, as you say, it was kind of like a unique film to make. He hasn't made any... When was the last compelling film he made? Do you know what I mean? Funny enough, he actually has just released a film called Havoc with Gareth
Edwards.
Evans?
Gareth Edwards did Godzilla.
Yeah.
Gareth Evans did The Raid.
Yes,
so
the Raid
Evans,
guy, yeah. And he's Welsh in that. I haven't watched it yet. The reviews are terrible. But it does have have Timothy Oliphant in it, though.
Okay.
And one day we'll do a deep dive 5 about him.
Yeah, we'll also have to look at Gareth Evans. We'll do a Gareth Evans one.
But brilliant film. Probably one of the great British films of the last 15 years easily.
Bit like,
I would highly recommend everyone to watch this.
Yeah.
And to watch it on your own.
Yeah.
At like 9 p.m.
Yeah.
It's not very long. It's like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Not even that.
And I would also do it in the autumn or winter. It feels like a really autumnal movie. I don't know why. It just feels like it.
Weirdly, I feel like it would put you in a good mood if you're in a bad place.
Yeah.
It's one of those, even though the subject matter is really like depressing.
Yeah. And your soundtrack you just listen to on repeat.
Yeah. Films that I have seen on repeat, probably more than anything else, is another film about a troubled father-son relationship. And one of them trying to maintain his job and make sure people are doing their job right.
Yeah.
But in this film, if they don't do it right...
Driving the Millennium Falcon.
They die. They get choked out. It's Empire Strikes Back, a film that's rather well known, and a sequel to Star Wars, now known as A New Hope.
Yeah.
Ian, have you seen Empire Strikes Back?
Funny enough, I have seen it. I don't know if we should really kind of emphasise this. This is actually the Empire Strikes Back special edition.
Yes.
So this was essentially the first of the slight remasters.
This doesn't have a lot of the remastered elements.
No.
Which is mostly A New Hope and Return of the Jedi.
Is it this one where they edit Harrison Ford to step over Jabba the Hutt's tail?
No, that's A New Hope.
Is that A New Hope?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because Jabba the Hutt isn't originally in A New Hope.
Yeah.
And they had footage of Jabba the Hutt, then played by an Irish human. And obviously Jabba the Hutt didn't end up being an Irish human. So 20 years later, when the CGI was better, they just basically superimposed a gigantic slug Jabba over the Irish Jabba the Hutt. And that's why he steps over his tail, because he's just walking behind the human, and why he says, Jabba, you're a wonderful human being. The scene is exactly this. It's on YouTube if you want to watch it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's A New Hope. But there's obviously a few little bits and bobs.
Yeah. But that's the type of thing that we're talking about when we're talking about the special edition. It was just slight updates to...
Well, there were big
a couple
updates.
Of extra scenes and so on and so forth.
There were like extra scenes
Yeah.
in the first and third, or fourth and sixth. But this one, I think, because it's kind of perfect, there didn't have to be too many major changes. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this is certainly the standout Star Wars episode. I only think there are two near perfect Star Wars films, which is this and A New Hope. And this film never ceases to amaze me with its grand scale and horribly depressing story elements, because if you look at the original trilogy, it does kind of work out the 3-act structure quite well, where the first act is set up, which is A New Hope, sets the world up perfectly. The confrontation is Return of the Jedi, where there is literally a confrontation between Luke and Vader, Palpatine and the Empire and the Rebellion. Resolution with that. And then, the second film, which is Empire, is confrontation, and it's the epitome of confrontation, where Luke Skywalker goes through the most abysmal, in the first film, obviously, he goes from rags to riches, essentially, in terms of, character development, and this film does nothing but, shit on him until the very end, where it turns out that his dad, the person he hates the most, is an evil cyborg. But,
As you do.
Yeah. But it's got so much more than that. It completely re-evaluates almost what you thought things were like in A New Hope, and it's just very, very mature, I think. And I think Yoda really brings that about and sort of makes you rethink what even a Jedi should be. Because obviously Luke going into Empire or looking for Yoda never thinks that Yoda is essentially a green little creature. And that kind of sums up the film, really. It's you think it's one thing, but it's actually a lot deeper than that.
I think you can't ignore that this is pretty much on most top lists of all time. Greatest film ever made.
Yes.
It always comes up pretty high on that list. So, yes, we've had 5 films so far that we've spoken about. Do we attempt an order so far?
Do we attempt an order?
Yeah. Do we attempt a before we get into the final 2?
Well, it's tricky with Empire Strikes Back because it's so deep in the pop culture. You don't even know how much you can really talk about it. Even the twist at the end, it feels like everyone just knows about that, even if they know nothing about it.
Well, that's why I think most people are going to know Empire. They're going to say they're pretty high up. I haven't really got a lot of criticism about it, to be honest. So should we talk about Dredd then? So I like Dredd 2012. The thing that I really hate about Dredd 2012, though, is it is the Western version of The Raid.
Which came out first?
By literally, I think, a year.
I don't even think it's that much. Oh no, maybe it is. It's 2011, isn't it? The Raid.
So
it's
purely coincidence, right?
Well, I will say, obviously, Dredd is based on a comic. Dredd stretches back decades. So I don't know whether this is just an adaptation of a specific comic.
Yeah.
And obviously, the Sylvester Stallone films live in infamy. So I don't know if Dredd necessarily copied Raid. I mean, the Raid is just based on, that kind of fighting style. There's not.
No, but I
not
suppose
much of
the story,
with
right?
the
It's
Raid.
one block of flats. Let's go from level to level to level to level. I mean, you could arguably say it's actually closer to a video game than it is anything else.
Quite like Die Hard.
Like Die Hard,
Yeah.
like stuff like that. So like there's obviously but the sheer intensity of the films within that setting, within like this like really kind of oppressive building, and it's like you have one hero against all odds taking on an army of criminals. So the similarities there are huge. Dredd is a very westernized version though, whereas Raid is just one guy who loses all of his weapons. Dredd is, let's just give him more. Let's just see him just go around and just like literally just tear the building apart.
My biggest problem with Dredd is, and I have this problem with a lot of films, is that the central protagonist doesn't have a lot of flaws.
Well, you can't really give a protagonist.
He doesn't go through a lot of like trepidation. You always feel like he's probably going to win.
But that's why they give Dredd a recruit.
Yeah.
That is 100% why they give Dredd the recruit, because you are not Dredd, you are the recruit.
Yeah.
If you're going to empathise with anyone, you are going to be empathising with the recruit. So it emphasises the awe that you would feel for a character like that, or to just be following in the footsteps of literally a one-man military machine.
Yeah. But even the Terminator has like vulnerabilities in both films.
I don't think Dredd's even attempting to be the Terminator though.
Well, it's where you're talking like a military like machine.
Yeah. The first one's not.
Well, does he even? I can't remember. But does he have like a moment where he could lose? Like the worst thing that happens to him is that it's a slight setback.
Yeah,
Getting
well, that's the whole thing, isn't it? It's just kind of like
he has slight issues in getting to.
My gun couldn't fire. It got jammed.
Yeah.
So I have to use someone's body.
Yeah. Although it does have, I love the scene where he talks to the whole building, and it's just like perfect. And it's basically it's like, if you get in my way, you are complicit in her crimes.
Yeah.
Try me, bitch. And then at the end where he just goes, and as for you, mama, judgment.
Yeah.
We have to talk about Carl Urban.
There's a few things I want to talk about this. First and foremost is this the most successful 3D film of all time?
No, it's not even close.
I mean, if you got Avatar, I remember sitting. This came out at a time where 3D had pretty much
it was on its way out.
On its way out. But I also remember this being the only version that you could see at the cinema for a long time. The 2D version was like the Thursday afternoon screening. Every single other screening was the 3D version. And I remember people coming out of it saying, that actually, in terms of 3D films, was all right. So I remember seeing that at the time. Not that that had anything to do with it, but I wanted to just mention it because the original title was Dredd 3D.
Yeah.
So obviously then as it then got widely distributed, it then just got kind of shredded down to Dredd. But that's one thing. Second thing, this isn't Alex Garland. He has a writing credit on this, which I thought was really fascinating. But yes, you're absolutely right. We have to talk about Carl Urban.
Is he one of the most underrated gems of the last 20 years?
I think he's had a fantastic few years.
He is because the thing is, he's one of those actors. Even if he is in a bad film, and he has been in a lot of bad films, he's always good in it.
He's always the most fun in it.
Like Doom.
Yeah,
he's so good in Doom.
Yeah.
I love him. Why didn't? Yeah,
he's also the best. Well, he's one of the better characters in Thor Ragnarok. Even though Thor Ragnarok is a fantastic film.
I mean, I think the best way to describe it is that even in The Boys, where it took me, I think, about 2 seasons to realise that he's actually trying to be from London, and it's like one of the worst accents I've ever heard.
Yep.
He's still great.
Yeah,
he's so good in that show. Even he can get away with a terrible Cockney accent, but I don't care because he's just such an interesting character.
Yeah, he's got charisma. He likes to chew it.
But yeah, he's great, and I'm kind of it's such a shame that there wasn't at least one more film, because a lot of people say that I can't believe they didn't franchise this. I mean, it didn't make a lot of money. I don't know what more you can, that's what I mean, I don't know what more you can do with him unless you make him very vulnerable. But then that's, as you say, that's like kind of against the whole point of it.
Yeah,
he's judge, jury, and executioner.
You'd need to change the stakes somehow, so that like you would need to introduce a secondary character. You need to tell that story through the eyes of the through the rookie. Right?
Who do you think is a better cop, Dredd or Denzel Washington in Training Day?
Oh, great shout! There's actually oddly quite a lot of similarities between Dredd and Training Day. The main thing being, it's detective and rookie.
Yeah.
And it's an oddly similar story in that sense. One is absolutely bulletproof. The other one is very, very, very new to all of this. It's like learning the streets. It's like learning how to survive. I am a big fan of Training Day. I've made it no secret that I got into films in the late 90s, early 2000s. And this happened to drop in 2001, which was just at the right time to be getting into this type of gritty movie. Now, David Ayer also brought us Harsh Times, which is one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Well, he has a very, very...
He has a very, very, very patchy, shall we say? Patchy.
He's definitely... I don't think he warrants the sheer ridicule that he has gained since Suicide Squad. Because just before that, he was on a really good run with
He was on a great run.
End of Watch and Fury.
Yeah.
I mean, Training Day he wrote.
Yeah.
And... I mean, he's still releasing films. It's not like he's not getting work.
Yeah, it's very. I think to say it's a bit derivative now. Well, you can't do a film like Bright, for instance, which is just Training Day in a fantasy world, and say that you're coming up with new, interesting, content. Right?
Well, I think the reason why he did that film was because he was playing it safe because of Suicide Squad. I need to go back to something that I've kind of done
safe.
Yeah,
that's
Bright.
still a bit of a punt. Bright is a bit of a punt. It's let's tell a really gritty police cop story with ogres.
Yeah, no, I'm
like
talking about the similarities to like a Training Day. Where it's like I've kind of
So I see.
I've kind of done this before, and I've just had a horrible experience.
That's where it's derivative though, because he's basically just taking his own work and he's just.
That's what you do when you get desperate. You go back to it's like a rock band. It's like, oh my god, it's like they didn't like our new album. Go back to basics, guys.
Yeah.
But no, I enjoyed Training Day. I don't love it.
Well, this came in the wake. I would say this is probably one of the latest 90s movies that you'll see.
I completely agree.
Like,
it feels very...
There's not a lot after this that feels like Training Day. But Training Day is also kind of the stamp of approval, I suppose, of this genre as well. I think it does quite well at telling the story. I mentioned it with Locke. There's a texture to Training Day. Like, you kind of get a feeling that, like... There's so many of these movies that come out which is trying to show you, like, the real life of the streets, and this is the narcotics agents on the streets of LA, and let's get to the grittiness of it. But there's no texture. Whereas I found with this, it felt like there's like an essence to this movie, which I think is quite often overlooked with it, because I think it's like it's a really interesting story in as much as for as much as Denzel Washington is a villain, there's a human side to him, because they highlight the whole way through. It's like, I used to be like you, to Ethan Hawke's character. I used to be the rookie and all of that lot, and the streets have essentially turned him.
Yeah.
And has made him this villain, and I think all of that comes across really well. I think a lot of that is Anton Fuqua essentially just taking that character and fleshing it out. But Denzel Washington, I think this has got to be one of the best performances of his career.
Second Oscar win.
Yeah. And I would definitely say best, or one of the best villains of the 2000s.
Yeah, he has an iconic monologue at the end, which he kind of improvised.
King Kong ain't got shit on me.
Yeah. I mean, I went into watching it. Everyone was saying it was like one of the best things ever. Maybe I need to watch it again. I did enjoy Denzel Washington.
You need to. I think,
but
it's
I don't.
like with most
the actual
movies,
story,
this is a bit of a sidebar. But it's like with most movies. As soon as anyone says it's the best thing ever, it's never ever as good as the best thing ever. I think you have to go like something, particularly something like Training Day, which is very much a film of its time. 2001, when that type of genre movie was really kind of, I mean, it was drawing to a close. The curtains were closing on that type of genre, or genre film in that way. I do think Training Day has like just cuts through it though, and I think a lot of it is on. It's the central performances. It's a stacked cast. There are so many people in this film. But Washington's villain and Ethan Hawke's wet behind the ears rookie are a great pairing. And it's told, and the story is told not sympathetically, because I don't think that Washington really goes out that way to be like someone to kind of feel empathy for.
It feels human.
But there is. It feels like a full character arc.
Yeah, feels like a Breaking Bad character.
Yeah. If we're going to go with comparisons with other films on the list, one of the other things that I find interesting, if we're going to make any connection, is with Locke. It's one location, or it's not one location, it's one part of the city, let's say, within a 24-hour period. So there's not a lot of room to manoeuvre. Like, that gives you quite a lot of barriers, but it also allows you to get the most out of them. So it doesn't waste any time. It knows exactly where it's going, it knows exactly what it's doing. It uses exposition where it needs to. And then it drops these monologues which on some level you could turn around and say, oh my God, there's another monologue, or it feels quite cliche. It's giving Denzel Washington like another 9 pages of dialogue, type thing. But it's so good at acting as almost like a window into this guy's life and why he is the way he is. And as much as you don't agree with any of it, you empathise that the streets are what has turned him. It's this world, it's this life that has caused this man to become a villain. And I think all of that combined just makes it just. I'm a massive advocate for Training Day. I think it is a good film. I think it's also a really good entry point for anyone who's interested in film or wants to get interested in film.
Yeah. So you think Denzel Washington like overwhelmingly wins the film?
Yeah, I don't know. Where's this? Who's winning the film? This is the third film you've asked this for now. Who's won the film? I'm not sure if I would ever really describe anything as winning or losing a film.
Well, like the standout.
Yeah, I definitely say that. I think the film lives and dies on Washington's performance, but I don't think that's necessarily what it was. I don't think that was something it wasn't trying to do.
Yeah. So if it was Jonah Hill playing the
I think we'd have a very different movie.
Okay. Well, I mean, that is the last film on the list. This is a very hard list to rank.
It's a hard film list.
I mean, out of all these films, I would put Training Day last. But I'm not saying Training Day is bad. I'm just saying, out of all these films, I would rather watch the others.
Really?
Actually, no, I tell a complete lie. Back to the Future Part 2.
You put that at bottom?
I put that bottom, yeah. And then Training Day.
I would disagree. I think I would go. Let's look at this in chunks then. I think that's going to be the best way to look at this. I'd probably agree with you, Back to the Future Part 2. And then I would probably say 21 Jump Street. And then I would probably say Dread. And then Training Day.
Oh, I'd much rather watch Dread than Training Day. Dread's like a claustrophobic,
I think Training Day's got more stuff to say.
Like, crazy shit.
I think, but again though, if we go back to your thing about it being interesting and having something to say, I think Training Day has.
Oh, Training Day has a lot more to say, yeah.
And so I think because of that, I think it is a better film than Dread.
So we agree. Back to the Future Part 2.
I'd say Back to the Future Part 2 is definitely last on the list. But then I've got 21 Jump Street, Dread, and Training Day. That's the order I would go.
I can accept 21 Jump Street.
Yeah.
I can't quite accept that Training Day's better than Dread.
Well, what about Quiet Place, though? Is that anywhere
Quiet
in
Place
this conversation?
No, Quiet Place is higher up than all these films.
I still think Training Day is a better film than Dread.
Or even A Quiet Place?
I think A Quiet Place is better than both of them.
Okay.
I think what Krasinski has done with the genre in Quiet Place is far more interesting than the other two. So as I say, Training Day is a good example of a film of that time.
Yeah.
But it is somewhat derivative of also every film of the 90s.
I would... You've got written here, is Washington the best villain of the 2000s? I wouldn't say he's the best villain, but he's a very interesting... it's a very interesting depiction of corruption.
Yeah.
Like, I always... did this film inspire... a really famous corrupt cop show from the early 2000s? With Walton Goggins.
Sorry,
The Shield.
Okay.
The Shield, yeah. So The Shield is basically all about a corrupt sort of like unit in a police department.
Okay.
And how like that approach basically both like improves and dramatically doesn't improve people's lives.
I
And
can
that came
imagine
out
a
in
lot of people
2002.
look at Washington's performance out of Training Day, and that actually is the benchmark of why they want to be an actor.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if it's that good.
I will reluctantly give you Training Day, but I don't know, what's a better monologue? That's like an interesting one.
What, Dread's over the thing versus...
I know Denzel Washington's obviously more famous.
Yeah.
But like in terms of like, you've got to remember that the line "I am the law" was completely ruined for decades by Sylvester Stallone. He completely butchered it, and then Carl Urban comes round and smashes it out of the park.
Yeah. One of these films also earned an Oscar, though.
Yeah.
And it's not Dread.
What's that got to do with anything?
So... well, we're just saying in terms of if you're going to go with who has the more interesting monologues, then I'm going to say it's the guy who won the Oscar.
Yeah, but no.
Yeah.
Yeah, but who's... They throw Lena Headey off a building.
I do think Training Day is better. This isn't even a question. Training Day is better than Dread.
Well, we'll
Even
settle
if it is most basic. So Training Day has a Metascore of 71 and an audience score of 7.8.
Well, none of these things are important to our opinions.
This literally top 7 list is not important in any way, shape, or form. That's what makes this more important. Dread is sitting on a Metascore of 60 and an audience score of 7.1. So it's marginal.
What does that? That's got nothing to do with anything.
It means nothing. It's in exactly the same way that we're trying to say what's a better film, Training Day or fucking Dread.
Yeah, but that's our opinion. You're looking on the internet.
Oh yeah,
The internet's not a safe place.
it's definitely not.
I've relinquished.
Okay, cool. Right,
yeah.
so the 7. Then we got 21. 7 we got Back to the Future Part 2.
Yeah.
6, 21 Jump Street.
Yeah.
5, Dread. 4, Training Day. 3, A Quiet Place.
Yes. Oh yeah.
I was going to say I would absolutely slap you if you were going to say anything
Why are
else.
you promoting domestic abuse?
I'm not. It's not domestic abuse. It's friend abuse.
We could be lovers.
We could be lovers. Right, so there's a part of me, my logical brain says Locke.
There's no way Locke is the
Locke
best film
and
of this,
Empire
I'm
Strikes
sorry.
Back. But I personally believe I'm going away with the emotional victory here is Locke. Yeah.
You have just
The better film is Empire Strikes Back.
You have just listed off internet nonsense, and I could do the same thing with Empire. Empire's got like it's possibly the best sequel of all time.
The amount of
Everyone
film
loves
conversations
it. It's
around
got the
Empire
most
Strikes
iconic
Back per
twist
year.
and
There's
dialogue.
so many more film conversations around Empire Strikes Back per minute than Locke has ever had in its entire run.
Yeah, but we're not promoting. This isn't called such an obscure film.
This is called
It's called
Locke
such
podcast.
a ranker. The ranking.
It is the ranking list. So I will. Yeah. So I think that's probably the easiest decision that we've made at the top.
What, Empire?
Yeah. I think it's the most obvious film to put.
Why do you think it's top? You personally?
Well, I don't. I think Locke is. I just said I think the emotional victory is Locke.
Yeah, but that's not the victory.
for me-
That's an
for me,
emotional
that's it.
victory. That's another way of saying my heart says Locke, but my head
I think
says
as a
Empire.
bridging film that connects all the dots and gets you excited about a third film, you can't really get much better than Empire. I think the framing of your villain in that role, how how well you can mistreat your main character, I think, is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, that's impressive. It does interesting things. It says interesting things. And so I think because of all those things, I think it is a really interesting sequel, but bridging sequel. It knew that it was the second of a trilogy.
Everything is like elevated. Like our
Yeah.
understanding of the universe, the characters involved, the music is unbelievably good. Like the introduction to like the Imperial March is great. The battle sequences are debatably better. Like the whole stuff on Hoth is great. I don't think it's perfect, like, at all. I think the stuff on Bespin is a bit hit and miss. And like the what's the word? The redemption of Lando is a bit strange. But I think it mostly like hits all its marks, and the whole thing with Luke and Vader and Bespin is great. Just the whole confrontation and yeah, it's just it's the perfect sequel. As I say, it's the perfect like second act of a film, but like a saga.
Cool.
But yeah, no, I would. But I love Locke to pieces. Like Locke, I mean, you couldn't get any more of a different 1 and 2.
This is why this whole process is absolutely arbitrary.
Yeah.
But that's why it makes it so fun, because it makes you want to kill yourself.
We should definitely put that on the slogan.
Absolutely. Yeah.
A podcast so good it will make you want to die.
Oh, fantastic. Right, with that then, shall we wrap things up?
Yes.
Let's say goodbye to this
Please
podcast.
do.
So,
Please do.
Let's do the final roundup. So at 7 we had Back to the Future Part 2. At 6 we had 21 Jump Street. At 5 we had Dread. 4 Training Day. 3 A Quiet Place. 2 is Locke. And number 1 is obviously Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back.
What will strike back next in such a rancor?
Oh, who knows? Or if you really want to, just have a look at our next Deep Dive 5. It could be an interesting one. It's not as fun as Such a Rancor, but I'd still say it's pretty good.
I enjoy them.
I enjoy both. I enjoy both of them. Anyway, thank you for taking part in the latest episode of Such a Rancor. How'd you rate our list? Would you do anything differently? We'd love to hear your opinions on it. But if that's everything, take care, and we'll see you soon.
Cool. Have a good one.